Do you think the law is just numbers on a page? Listen to how one laugh suddenly costs more than any fine. Municipal court, early light. Fluorescents fizz, the flag fringe barely stirs in the AC. On the benches, a veteran with a pin on his cap, a florist in a cardigan clutching invoices, a school bus driver in a district polo. The clerk reads names like stops on a route. Routine hums until the side door opens. Lucas Braden, 20, drifts in wearing designer sneakers and a hoodie that telegraphs price. Smile already loaded. Behind him, an older man in a good coat, Howard Braden, the city's best-known developer, takes a back row without speaking. His presence carries its own headline. The clerk lifts a file. 3 citations, same night, she says. Excessive noise at 12:08 a.m., parking in a loading zone at 5:31 a.m., signal violation, rolling red, 6:02 a.m. Lucas barks a laugh. Not loud, just sharp enough to cut the room. The veteran's chin ticks up. The judge's pen stops mid-note. The clerk quotes the potential total. Lucas leans toward the friend who tagged along for support and stage whispers, "We pay more for a latte at the club." The bailiff's eyes find him. "Sir." It's not a threat. It's a line on the floor. Timing twists the knife. The next case called is a gray-haired woman disputing a $1 meter error. Lucas snorts again, a little puff of air through his nose as if he can't help it. The veteran turns his head. The florist looks down at her hands. Signs on the wall say what they always say: no food or drink, respect the court. But today, they feel like a plea. "Mr. Braden," the judge says, looking straight through the smile. Laughter is a statement, too. Lucas shrugs, spreads his hands. The older man behind him doesn't move, doesn't rescue. The clerk continues, facts steady as a metronome. Noise complaint noted by 3 addresses. Loading bay on Maple, Alvarez Flowers, blocked before dawn. Camera stills show your plate entering the intersection during a red phase. Lucas's grin widens like this is a story about someone else. The bus driver shifts his weight. You can hear the polyester creak. Somewhere, a pen clicks and stops. The judge lets the quiet sit long enough that everyone recognizes who broke it. Then, step forward. Lucas saunters to the lectern, shoulders loose, head tilted as if the lights are too bright. "Since you've opened with a joke," the judge says, tone flat as a ruler, "let's hear your actual position, on the record." He leans into the microphone like it's a prop. "Lucas Braden." The name lands, a few heads tilt. In the back, the older man, Howard Braden, acknowledges nothing, just rests both hands on a cane he doesn't seem to need. "Address?" the clerk asks. Lucas gives a penthouse on the river, the one marketed with drone footage and glass sunsets. The clerk notes it. The judge's eyes don't change. "What do you do, Mr. Braden?" "Student," Lucas says. "Content, sometimes." "Cars," the judge supplies, glancing at a printout. "Night videos. No breaks." A corner of Lucas's mouth lifts. It's a brand. The file is not thick, but it has a history. Prior warnings, as a courtesy, a pair of citations that somehow evaporated after review. Different months, same plate. The clerk reads those entries without commentary. The room hears what it hears. "Who is the gentleman with you?" the judge asks. "My grandfather." Lucas doesn't turn to him. "He owns properties." A lawyer in a dark suit, seated beside Howard, slides a folded note toward the rail. The bailiff intercepts it and delivers it openly to the bench. The judge doesn't unfold it. "If counsel wishes to be heard," he says, "it will be on the record." From the second row, the florist rises, small, shoulders squared. "Maria Patel, Alvarez Flowers," she says. 5:30 that morning, A courier was due for a veteran's service. The loading bay was full of his car. We hauled from the curb. We were late. No edge, just the ache of a ruined timetable. Across the aisle, the bus driver stands. Route 7. The rolling red happened at our corner. My amber flashers were already on. A kid with a backpack was waiting. Nobody got hurt. That's luck, not skill. Lucas's posture loosens, then tightens again. A tell he probably doesn't know he has. He glances toward his grandfather. The older man looks at the flag. The judge keeps his tone plain. "Mr. Braden, did you say to your companion, 'Parking there is ours'?" Lucas shrugs. "Everyone uses that dock for a minute." "Minutes stack," the judge says. "They come out of other people's day." He turns a page. "Your earlier warnings. Who asked for those reconsiderations?" Lucas opens his hands. "I don't run the city." "Nor does your family," the judge replies. "We'll hear from parking later." He addresses the gallery. "This is not a referendum on development or youth culture. This is 3 acts before dawn. A muffler at midnight, a blocked door at first light, a red phase treated like yellow. We will weigh them with the same scale as the dollar meter case." He looks back to Lucas. "You laughed when you heard the numbers. Leave the laughter. Bring me facts." The older man in the back finally speaks, voice dry as paper. "Answer him cleanly, Lucas." For the first time, the grin slips without a replacement. He nods, almost to himself, a small concession to the idea that the room is heavier than his channel. The screen wakes to cold streetlight. Intersection cam, time-stamped 6:02 a.m. A yellow bus noses to the line. Amber flashers click on. 2 slow blinks. Then red. Lucas's coupe glides through the frame a heartbeat after the signal hardens. On the sidewalk, a small figure with a backpack rocks on his heels, the way kids do when they're told to wait. The room inhales and holds. "Pause," the judge says. The still freezes. Bus, reds bright as coals, coupe angled past the bar, the boy's toes at the curb seam. No narration necessary. "Next feed." Body cam footage from the loading bay at 5:31 a.m. The alley is blue with dawn. The officer walks up, breath visible, ticket book out. Lucas's car fills the striped space, trunk lip a palm's width from the roll door. A worker with a dolly veers, lifts a box to keep it dry. Audio picks up a laugh. Young, easy. Lucas's voice. "They won't ticket me. Parking here is basically ours." The laugh isn't cruel, it's casual. That makes it worse. "Pause," the judge says again. We see a hand tug the dock chain, stuck because the bumper's there. A paper card taped to a bouquet sleeve flashes. Russo Service, 0900. Lights come up. The projector dies to black. Lucas rests one forearm on the lectern, then takes it back as if it stung. He looks toward his grandfather and finds no lifeline. Howard Braden rises, a deliberate inch. He doesn't look at the bench. He looks at the defendant. "Where did you learn that sentence?" he asks, not loud, not soft. "Ours. Is that your schooling or your invention?" Lucas's mouth works, then closes. The old man sits. He folds his hands. The judge's tone never lifts. "What we just saw at Maple and 3rd is not a stunt. It is a red phase you treated like decoration. What we heard behind Alvarez's shop is not bravado. It is a claim of ownership over a public right-of-way." He glances to the bus driver. "Your amber was already active?" "Yes, sir," the driver answers. "I was on the brake." "And the child?" "Waiting. He did what he was taught. We were lucky." The word lands like a weight. The judge returns to Lucas. "You laughed when numbers were read. Numbers don't tell the whole story. Angles and timestamps did." He doesn't raise his voice. "We are done with slogans. We will now talk about who stood in the rain hauling boxes, who had to circle a block, who had a backpack, and a rule to trust. He nods at the clerk. Bring up parking's log entries for prior courtesy dispositions. Then we'll discuss what ours costs everyone else. The clerk scrolls to entries that don't usually see daylight. Citation 08441. Courtesy review. Warning issued. Citation 09112. Courtesy review voided. Initiated by Parking Division contact logged as Operations City Center Garages. The judge tips his head. Identify Operations City Center Garages. A supervisor from parking steps forward, hand raised. That's the management company for several downtown lots, she says. We sometimes receive calls asking for reconsideration. From whom? She swallows. A manager there. He mentioned the Braden Trust. Murmurs gather and flatten. The judge doesn't ride them. To be clear, he says, no envelope, no cash, just a phone and a name? Yes, Your Honor. He turns toward the back row. Mr. Braden? Howard stands. Those garages are ours, he says, as if reading from a ledger. The curb is not. He faces Lucas. I did not tell anyone to call. If they did it to curry favor, they will stop. No warmth, no rescue, just boundary lines. The projector hums again. A second angle from the alley. The courier jogs up, checks his watch, dials. We're late, he says into the phone. The camera catches the shop clock over his shoulder, 5:36, and the ticket time stamped 1 minute later. The bouquet label is clear this time. Russo, 0900. A small arithmetic of consequence. The judge kills the feed. We don't criminalize courtesy today, he says, but we measure what it leaks from the bucket of trust. He squares the file. Mr. Braden, your laugh told a story about money. Your videos tell one about image. The recordings tell the story that matters. Minutes taken from strangers and chalked up to hours. Lucas's hands are flat on the lectern now, fingers spread like he's bracing in a turn. He doesn't meet anyone's eye. The judge continues, clinical. Here is the framework going forward. Parking's practice of off-record reconsiderations will be referred to the department head with recommendation. Written requests only, logged, auditable. No more private routing through garage managers. He shifts to the day's business. As for the 3 acts we saw, noise, dock, light, we address them as harms, not headlines. He looks to Mrs. Patel. Prepare documentation for spoiled inventory and extra labor. To the bus driver, your supervisor will account for delay minutes at Jefferson. To Lucas, you will pay what the paper requires, but restitution isn't cash alone. He closes the folder with 2 fingers and lets the quiet work. We'll set conditions designed to return time and safety where you withdrew them. If you mean to grow up, you'll do them without an audience. The older man in the back nods once, almost invisible. The judge turns a page to a clean sheet. We're done with whether the dock was yours, he says. We're moving to what you owe the people you made wait. He signals the clerk. Prepare the order. Then to Lucas, you asked the room to laugh with you. It didn't. Now you'll learn how to carry it with you. He taps the pen, eyes steady. Next, consequences and the schedule to meet them. The numbers you laughed at were cheap, the judge says. The minutes you took were not. He writes in the margin, then speaks in the same steady register. All 3 citations stand at full value. Noise, loading zone, signal. No negotiation. The lawyer near Howard lifts a hand. We'll pay the fines and make a generous donation to the Veterans Fund and the district. Donations are not restitution, the judge cuts in, not unkindly. Charity is discretionary. Accountability is not. He turns first to the florist. Alvarez Flowers. Submit invoices for spoiled product and added labor caused by the blocked dock. Reimbursement due within 10 days. To the bus driver, Jefferson School's transportation office will document delay time and any overtime related to the ramp. Reimbursement due on the same schedule. Then back to Lucas. Now, repair. You will complete dawn shifts at the bakery, moving trays, clearing space, on 4 non-consecutive mornings. You will assist district staff at the Jefferson curb for 4 school arrivals. No directing children, no grandstanding, just doing what the adults on that corner tell you. No phones, no filming, no friends turning this into content. He flips a page. You will attend the city's traffic safety module and pass its exam. Then you will write a 2-page reflection titled, My Minute, Their Day. Single-spaced, concrete, no slogans. You will hand it to Ms. Patel and to the transportation supervisor, not to me. Lucas's jaw shifts. For once, he doesn't look to the back row. Yes, he says, voice small but clean. The judge nods. A portion of the court costs associated with today's hearing may be remitted upon timely, verified completion of all conditions. The base fines and restitution remain. A lesson learned doesn't delete history. He leans forward, eyes steady. Understand this line, Mr. Braden. I'm not sanctioning your laugh. I'm sanctioning the indifference behind it. You laughed. Other people waited. That's the debt. Mrs. Patel's chair whispers as she rises half an inch. Thank you, she says, and sits. Howard Braden gives the slightest nod. Not possession, not pride, just acknowledgement that gravity finally registered. The judge signs, the seal thumps. Compliance review in 6 weeks, he says. Return with receipts and signatures from those you inconvenienced, not with photos of you pretending to help. Lucas's fingers curl on the lectern as if holding a wheel he can't spin out of this curve. I get it, he says, barely above a breath. Good, the judge replies. You'll prove it at 5 in the morning. A low shuffle passes through the benches, the sound a room makes when outrage yields to order. Outside, somewhere beyond the courthouse glass, a truck roll-up clatters open on its track, and a yellow bus hisses to a stop on time. He returns without the hoodie and without an entourage, plain shirt, scuffed shoes, a manila folder in both hands. Howard sits in the last row, unreadable, cane hooked over a knee. Review matter. Braden, the clerk calls. Lucas lays the folder on the rail. The clerk reads what paper can prove. Alvarez Flowers. Reimbursement received. Spoiled product replaced. Overtime covered. Service logs. 4 dawn shifts. Signatures from 2 bakers. Note. Arrived 5:12. Moved racks. Swept bay. No phone. She lifts a second sheet. Jefferson Transportation. 4 mornings at the curb. Verified by supervisor. Notated. Followed instruction. Positioned cones. Checked sight lines. No interaction with students. On time. Traffic safety module. Completed and passed. Reflection essay attached. 2 pages, single-spaced. Mrs. Patel stands just enough to be seen. He showed up early, she says. Didn't talk, just worked. The bus driver raises a hand. He asked where to stand so the ramp came down clean, stayed out of the way. That's the help we actually need. A third voice that didn't speak before, the courier from the video, steps forward, cap in hand. I recognized him from that morning, he says. Different sound this time, no laugh, just a dolly squeaking. The judge nods. Agency update on courtesy practice. The clerk produces a new memo, bureaucratic and blessedly dull. Parking enforcement. Effective immediately. No off-record courtesy reviews. All reconsiderations must be written, time-stamped, auditable. A small release moves through the benches, as if the building itself exhales. Lucas keeps his eyes on the rail. "I wrote something for them," he says, touching the folder. "Not for the internet." "I read it," the judge replies. "It uses nouns, the dock, the clock, the light, instead of excuses. That's progress." He signs once, the pen scratching audibly. Conditions satisfied. The supplemental court costs are remitted. Base fines and restitution remain. We don't erase the footprint because you swept the floor. He looks down the aisle. Veteran's cap, florist's cardigan, bus driver's polo, the quiet weight of an older man who finally let a lesson stand on its own. "Understand what endured here," he says. "Not your name, not your channel. The rule that a stranger's minute is not yours to spend." Howard rises the breadth of a nod and sits. Lucas turns just enough to see it, and then faces front again. "Mr. Braden," the judge adds, softer than before, "you laughed easily. You got up early. Keep the second habit." The seal thumps. Paper goes back into a drawer. In the hall, shoes rasp against tile. Outside, the loading bay is clear, the shop clock honest as ever. A yellow bus breathes at the curb. A ramp lowers without a swerve. Lucas steps to the door, catches it open for the line behind him, and disappears into a morning that requires no witnesses.